All right, buckle up, because while tariffs might sound like a total snooze fest, what just happened in April 2025 is like dropping a wrench into the engine of the global auto industry.
A 25% tariff on all cars that are not made in the United States. If they're made in the United States, there's absolutely no tariff.
Picture this. You're an automaker humming along with a global supply chain stretched across 5 continents. Everything's optimized, lean, efficient. And then, bam, a shiny new 20% tariff hits on electric vehicles and key EV parts from what Western governments are now calling non-aligned trade partners. Translation? Mostly China. So, why now? Well, it's a mix of economics, politics, and, let's be honest, some good old-fashioned industrial rivalry. China's been dominating the electric vehicle game. In 2024 alone, Chinese EV makers like BYD, NIO, XPENG, and others exported over 1.2 million EVs globally, including more than 500,000 to Europe. And the EU, North America, and even Japan have started to worry about becoming a little too dependent on China. Not just for finished EVs, but for the whole battery supply chain. We're talking about lithium, cobalt, graphite, rare earth magnets, the core ingredients of the electric revolution. China controls over 70% of global battery cell production and more than 60% of lithium refining capacity. That's why this new tariff isn't just about cars, it's about who controls the future of mobility. Now, let's talk reactions. Because global car makers didn't just sit back and take the hit. Starting with Volkswagen. The German giant has been investing heavily in diversifying its battery supply. After this tariff was announced, VW doubled down on its PowerCo battery division. They're accelerating plans for 6 new battery plants across Europe. Spain and Sweden are already underway. And they've also struck deals with Canadian lithium suppliers to build resilience outside China. VW's CEO Oliver Bloom recently said, "The future is electric, but it must also be sovereign." That's not just a soundbite, it's a strategic pivot. Toyota, the king of hybrids, is playing it smart. They've long been criticized for being slow on full EVs, but now that's looking like a defensive masterstroke. Their hybrid vehicles use smaller batteries, which means less reliance on Chinese supply chains. In 2025, they announced a $4 billion expansion into battery R&D, focusing on solid-state batteries and rare earth-free motor tech. Their new plants in Thailand and North Carolina are now crucial nodes in Toyota's China Light strategy. Over in Detroit, General Motors isn't wasting time. After this tariff came into play, GM launched a new $6 billion initiative to build out domestic battery production through its Ultium partnership with LG Energy. Now Tesla, as always, is a wild card. Elon Musk has benefited greatly from Tesla's Shanghai Gigafactory, which accounts for more than 40% of Tesla's global output. But this new tariff changes the game. Electric vehicles exported from China to the US or Europe now face steep penalties. So Tesla's racing ahead with its Gigafactory Mexico project, a $10 billion facility near Monterrey, expected to go live by mid-2026. It's not just a hedge, it's the plan. And Elon being Elon, he's also lobbying US officials to exempt certain Tesla components that are only assembled in China. Either they manufacture inside Europe, or they lose a massive price advantage. That's why BYD is fast-tracking its European assembly lines and forming joint ventures with local suppliers to try and skirt the tariffs. Even if they find a way around the tariffs, the political heat is on. Western governments are wary of Chinese state-subsidized competition, and that pressure is only growing. Meanwhile, Hyundai and Kia, the South Korean twins, are sitting pretty. Why? Because they already anticipated something like this. Back in 2022, Hyundai began building a $5.5 billion EV and battery plant in Georgia, USA. That facility is now nearing completion, giving them a strategic edge in the U.S. market. Their supply chains also rely more on Vietnam and Indonesia for minerals, not just China. Smart, right? Over in the luxury lane, BMW and Mercedes-Benz are shifting gears fast. Both companies previously sourced key battery components from Chinese partners, but now they're moving toward European alternatives. BMW signed a major deal with Sweden's Northvolt to supply their new EV lineup, while Mercedes is expanding its partnership with ACC, a French battery firm. Mercedes has even committed to making all of its EQ series batteries in Europe by 2027. And let's not forget governments, who aren't just standing by. The U.S. is using the Inflation Reduction Act to turbocharge domestic EV production, offering tax credits up to $7,500 per vehicle, but only if it's made with North American materials. Meanwhile, the EU just passed a €15 billion green tech stimulus package that prioritizes local battery manufacturing and rare earth processing. This isn't protectionism, it's industrial survival. What's wild is that this tariff could spark a full-blown battery tech race. Companies from Germany, the US, and Japan are investing billions into solid-state batteries, which could be cheaper, lighter, and, most importantly, less reliant on lithium or cobalt. US-based QuantumScape just unveiled a prototype that charges to 80% in 15 minutes. So what does this all mean for you and me? In the short term, yeah, EV prices might go up a little. Supply chain adjustments take time. But longer term, this could democratize the EV industry. More players, more innovation, more regional resilience. We could see more vehicles built closer to where they're sold, reducing emissions from shipping and boosting local jobs. Bottom line, this April 2025 tariff is a wake-up call. It's not just about trade, it's about who leads the clean energy economy. It's about who builds the batteries, who mines the minerals, and who controls the data flowing through our next-gen vehicles. And if carmakers want to survive this new era, they'll have to do more than build great EVs. They'll need to rethink everything, from where they source materials, to where they build their factories, to how fast they can pivot when the rules of the game suddenly change. Because in 2025, the auto industry isn't just shifting gears, it's rebuilding the engine.